Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. I'm joined by local author Jayanne Sindt, and she is the author of True North right here. I'm excited to have her in studio because she's going to be over at the Summit County Library, and you guys are doing a lot of fun stuff over there. So welcome to the show. How are you this morning, Jayanne?
Excellent. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you. Share with our viewers first why polar bears, why that subject matter in the first place.
Well, I've always, as far back as I can remember, I've just loved polar bears, and they've always been kind of a spirit guide, if you will, for me. If I've had questions and I needed a sign as if I was going in the right direction, a polar bear would show up in one way or another, whether in a picture or, you know.
So it kind of made sense for you to write about something that you hold so close to you.
Exactly. Hence the title of the book. True North is going in the direction of my heart. Wonderful. And polar bears are of my heart.
Oh.
So.
How long has this story been in the making?
This story's been in the making since 2006. A friend of mine comes out every year for Sundance Film Festival, and it was around the time that all those penguin movies were very popular.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I said, what about the polar bears? And she said, well, maybe that's your job. And I said, okay, and started writing this version of the book. And in the meantime, the picture book came about because I asked a friend of mine just to draw a polar bear for me, and Motto Finds True North is a shortened version of True North, focused on the theme of the book, which is to follow your heart.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love the illustrations here. How fun is that? So while, you know, this has always been going on for you, at least for the past couple of years, but in the interim, this came out.
Yes.
And then so they kind of their
introduction
package together. You need both of them, I think, would be really neat. So give me an overview of what True North is about.
Well, it's an introduction to Motto, the polar bear. Motto is actually a Lakota word for bear, and it's his adventures in adapting to the changes in the Arctic climate. So
our characters are Motto, and who does he meet along the way?
There's several characters in the book. There's Motto starts out with his mother Nana and his sister Ursula, and also a little fox named Charles, and they discover that it's too far to swim back to the shore from the Arctic ice cap, and they figure out what to do from there. And along the way they meet a group of male polar bears, and Motto actually meets a special bear along the way. I don't want to give too much away from it. There's one other character, is probably the only character that may be out of place, so to speak, for the Arctic, but he has a special magical spiritual side, and he's kind of explains what True North means about following their hearts.
I love it. That's so neat. So tell me, what is it like for you as a writer to put a story like this together? And clearly it's something that's very close to you. What is that process like?
This particular book has been, as I said, a long process. It's kind of been something that I have to do. I have to tell the story of the polar bear, and the process came about because the polar bears are definitely becoming the poster child for climate change and global warming, and I see them as adaptable animals, and I just wanted to celebrate the majesty of the polar bear and their adaptability, but also to express a story from their point of view, so to speak. That's why it's considered an Arctic fable.
Oh, okay. I see. Tell me about the research that went into putting this together, because like you said, it's you know, I wish this was a real story. That would be, or the character real, right? But it's something where, you know, from your imagination put to paper. But what did your research involve in terms of these ideas?
In the back of the book, we have just the facts. So with just the facts, you can go to all the places where I went and did most of my research. So most of the facts about polar bears are found at polarbearsinternational.org. They're a scientific community that's really focused on teaching people how to reduce their carbon footprint to help us and the polar bears. But they also have a lot of up-to-date information about polar bears, like the latest research that's happening regarding polar bears. And then also I used National Geographic sites to learn about other Arctic animals, and then of course some Lakota Native American language as well.
Well, let's talk about some of the images that we have here that are a really nice complement to reading it and to seeing these. Let's first talk about these. I love what you have here. What's this one about?
Okay, so that's a sketch that's in the book. That's one of the adventures that Mato has along with the Arctic fox Charles. And
doesn't look like he's getting along with Charles right now.
Well, he's actually saving him from the crevasse.
I wasn't sure what he was doing there, but
it's Mato's fault that they're in this predicament, but they end up on a ledge within a crevasse. So that's an image to kind of illustrate that a little bit better for the younger readers.
Very good. Then what about this
And
one?
this is further along in the story. A couple of the male polar bears that Mato meets along the way. Sven and Lars are quite playful polar bears, and they find these two long stick-like items and decide to use them as swords and make a sword fight out of it.
I love the way you're able to capture those fun little moments in there. That's great.
That's by artist Julia Wythe, is the sketch artist for the book.
Very good. Well, let's talk about the event you have coming up at the Summit County Library over at Kimball Junction right here in Park City. It's Monday, June 30th. Correct. You will be there, and so will this. What's the significance of this, though?
Yes, we are going to have a drawing, a free raffle drawing for to win this image of a polar bear. This was taken by my husband Jim Sindt in Churchill, Manitoba in 2004. That's where polar bears tend to gather before they go out to the sea ice. And this was the first bear that we saw. So this is titled First Bear. And yeah, so show up at the event at the Summit County Library in Park City at Kimball Junction. And you can enter to win this lovely photograph.
That's wonderful. Very good. So remember to check that out at Summit County Library, June 30th. Jayanne, thank you so much for joining us here today. Once again, the author of True North, an Arctic Fable. You have Mato Finds True North, and then the actual book, True North. So be sure to check those out. So thanks for your time here this morning.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate you joining us.
Thanks, Chelsea.
We'll be right back after this break, and when we do, we have a lot more coming up on the Mountain Morning Show. The Farmers Market, we hang out with a couple of new people. We want to share their stories about how they started their business and what makes them unique. That's up next.